Hello, Tiger fans, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Hey Corner Crew podcast. I am your host, JJ Lang, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co host. You know him, you love him, Nate, the little goon Foss. And with us again to talk about all things RIT hockey is RIT's resident rulebook reading statistician, Dan the Statman Scully.
Hey,
Dan is
the
back.
The physical book still isn't out, by the way.
Can we make this a regular segment now when we do a check in with Dan to see if his rulebook showed up or not?
we need him to hold the rule book.
He has to hold it up when he
actually
finally gets it. So we had some both teams had games this weekend. A lot of action. So we're not going to waste much time getting into it because we make sure we don't waste the Zoom recording. So let's start off with what we all let's start off with the women's team first because they had two games. So let's go through theirs first. I feel like there's a lot more there. So they played the University of Vermont. They had a 2-game series. They lost both games 5-2. That's kind of creepy. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of weird. We were driving down to Union, and Kate just looked at me and goes, "Hey, the women just lost 5-2. They lost the same score they had the night before." It kind of set me off a little bit. It was kind of weird. I don't know. Things like that just freak me out. So let's get into game 1 and game 2 right away. If anyone wants to just start and jump right in, be my guest.
I'd say Friday was probably the worst of the two games, if we're being honest.
Yes,
I would say so.
And they only had 11 shots. And that's a really good Vermont team. But after watching them Saturday, in the car on the way to Schenectady, where was all that Friday night?
We looked a lot better Saturday than we did Friday.
Sarah Coe, 23 saves per the usual. I don't even know why we mention her save count. It's usually 20 plus. Every
usually
game
30 plus, to be honest.
That's true. And then Sophia got into a game. Our freshman goaltender made 2 saves on 2 shots. Woohoo, in 6 minutes.
Pretty good.
Did anybody else realize that the commentator didn't notice that they changed goalies?
I noticed that, yes.
No, I was working volleyball all the time.
You are always working volleyball.
Poor Dan.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I noticed that because I think it was somebody in the car had the game pulled up when I was driving, and they were like, Sarah Coe's not in net anymore. Who is playing goal for who's in goal for us right now? And they had to look up the number and be like, oh, it's Sophia. Like, when the hell did that happen? So that was
after the 5th goal.
Yeah. But I will say this series could have been a lot worse. Like, this is a very, very good Vermont team that's nationally ranked, and especially on Saturday, this team held their own for a lot of that game. They played a lot of defense, but they held their own for a good portion of it.
Yeah. Vermont scored 3 goals in the second period. 2 of them were on the power play. So that was probably the change in the game.
Yeah.
If those 2 power play goals don't happen, I mean, we got one right. Chloe McNeil, shout out, first 2 goals as a Tiger.
That's awesome. That was awesome.
I mean, it's a 2-1 game going into the 3rd period, but it was 4-1, and it was kind of night after that.
Yep.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think, this series last year, you probably, if we had played this last year, probably would have been lucky to come out without getting shut out for both games. So
I would say
there's certainly an improvement.
I would say even from last year, looking at the early games we played against really, really good nationally ranked teams, part of me in the back of my mind thought Vermont's going to put up double digits on us, and they didn't. Excuse me, in either game.
And I think that's a credit to the goaltending. I mean, even on Saturday, Vermont put up 41 shots. Emma Steven made 36 saves. So if you had to pick one strong suit right now through 4 games, it's definitely the goaltending.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I think the goaltending's been phenomenal. And honestly, the power play too stuck out to me the most this weekend as well. It's not that they're not scoring a lot on the power play, but they're getting zone time. They're moving the puck really well.
Yep.
The goals are going to come eventually.
They'll hit a rhythm and they'll start moving.
It's tough when you play a team like Vermont. They're really, really good, and it's an older, experienced team. And when you have somebody who's probably going to compete for the Patty Kaz this year and Teresa Shopsall,
it's tough.
She did not break the all-time Vermont point record this weekend, though. So she needed 5 points. I think she only got 3. So
that's pretty good.
That's good.
Prevented that celebration from happening.
Yeah, records are fun to see get broken, but don't break them against us.
Oh yeah. Nate,
Well,
I want to point out
we
that
had.
sorry, go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
We had double-digit blocks both nights too. So
yes,
we did. Again,
typical RIT.
Picking up from last year, all the blocks.
And the Vermont UConn guys said it last weekend. The Vermont commentator said this weekend. All right, it's a gritty team that just doesn't go away.
Nope. Yep.
Or it scores.
Exactly.
I feel like
100%.
If we catch a team letting us, and credit to Vermont, they did not let RIT hang around too long. I think that's where UConn got in trouble last Saturday. Is they kind of let us hang around too long, and
I think UConn kind of expected us to just roll over and die, and we didn't. And I think Vermont saw that and went, okay, we can't just kind of say whatever in the second game. We need to make sure we keep on them because they will fight us off. They will beat us if we don't play hard. So do we want to look forward to St. Michael's, to our first homestand of the season for the ladies? There are 2 games. There is one Friday. There is one Saturday. I believe they are both at the same time also.
2:00 and 1:00.
Okay, so 2:00 Friday, 1:00 Saturday. Nate, I swear to God, if you tell anybody again to skip class Friday, I'm gonna kick you off the show.
You get one home opener per year. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God! All right, whatever.
I did not say the words.
No, but you're implying it.
No, yeah, there was a heavy implication.
This is why I had to go through and get my schedule set, so I made sure I was not in class for all of the women's games. But
yeah,
we
had that choice. I didn't.
Yes, unfortunately, you did not. But we got a St. Michael's team coming in. How are we feeling about this one? Well, let's kind of take a quick deep dive there before we keep going.
St. Michael's is not anywhere near as tough as the 2 teams we've played so far. I think they had 3 wins and 1 tie last year.
They won 3 games last year.
And I think 2 of them were against Post.
Who
beat them
who
twice
won
already
6.
this year.
No, they split.
Really?
Did they?
Yeah, St. Michael's won Friday 6-2. So Angelina Ruiz, probably the player to watch. 2 goals. Number 26. 2 goals Friday. They lost 2-0 on Saturday. So they had 2 goalies play. Carissa Mudryk played Friday. She made 40 saves, which
pretty good.
That's pretty good. And they went 4 for 5 on the power play. So
that's
key to the
better.
series, stay out of the box.
Yep. Don't let them get hot at all and get in the
even Leah White, who played Saturday in the 2-0 loss, made 35 saves. And I don't think they put up a ton of shots. So
no, it doesn't look like it from what I can see here.
So it'll be interesting. I think it's a series where you can split our goalies because you're not in desperate need of wins, but
be nice to take one.
It'll be interesting. I think for the first time in a while, I know we'll do predictions in a minute, but I think it is a possibility that RAT could take both games. So if everything just starts to click, and they'll be a little amped up to play at home.
Mhm. Oh yes, and
More
we'll make
than
sure
a
of that.
little.
I think they're excited.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely are.
I would say so. I know we're all excited to be back in there.
Oh, I'm ready. I
Finally.
have off of work that day
And-
too. I'm going to be at the door at 12:30.
And shout out to Coach Brown for bringing out all the old jerseys for us to buy at the pep rally, because I can guarantee there's probably like 30 people that are going to show up in all of their game worn women's jerseys. Me and Nate.
Everybody, it seemed like, bought this one, and so we're all going to be cute wearing the same
gonna be
jersey.
all
at the
black. But hey, man, I wear black jerseys all day long. Everybody knows my affiliation when it comes to that kind of thing. So I love me some black jerseys. So let's do a quick look around CHA, and then we'll go into our predictions for the weekend. Dan, I'll have you do that. Actually, you don't mind for the prediction, not predictions, for the look around.
Are we doing last week, this week, both?
This week.
This week.
Who cares about last week?
I mean,
we should.
Results are important too, but
let's take a look at both then.
Let's see. So yes, we are early October. So Thursday, Wisconsin played Lindenwood and blew the doors off of them 6-0.
Shocker.
What about the next night?
I was gonna say, and then even worse on Saturday.
If they blew the doors off of them on Thursday, what happened on Friday?
They burned the building to the ground on their way
left.
out. They just took a wrecking ball to the complex and just bulldozed it over.
Jeez.
Thank you for showing up. Try again next time when you build your arena back together.
Syracuse took a trip to Merrimack, and on Friday they actually came back from being down 2-0 to win the game 3-2 in overtime for their new head coach's first win at Syracuse. Minnesota Duluth shut out Penn State 4-0 at St. Lawrence, which not really a surprise there. Number 6 Colgate blew out Mercyhurst 5-0.
Shocker.
And then Saturday, Penn State beat St. Lawrence 4-2. Merrimack avenged their loss against Syracuse 2-0. And Colgate looks like maybe they eased off the gas a little bit Saturday. They only won 2-0 against Mercyhurst.
More like they probably put all their backups in and said, all right, we're gonna just let our bench play this game.
I will say that that's not a bad showing for Mercyhurst, though.
No,
I mean, that's a really we saw it firsthand last year. Colgate's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought a lot back this year. So, I mean, who knows? It could be telling for Mercyhurst. But
all right, so let's go into the predictions now. I'm going to have Dan start with the predictions for this.
Are we going to preview this weekend in CHA, JJ?
Oh, yeah, good point. My bad. We'll do that first, then we'll do predictions.
When I send you a script.
I'm reading the script, Nathan.
And I'm not, and I knew that we were supposed to.
This will just get added to the endless blooper reel we're going to have at the end of the season. Yes, let's look at this week. So obviously we have 2 against St. Michael's.
Syracuse is doing their strange Thursday home game thing. They're playing St. Lawrence Thursday night at 6 at Kennedy.
At the dump. for all the Spotify listeners, Dan Scully just cringed so hard. It's not even funny because he's from Syracuse. And he hates when we make fun of Syracuse.
I like I said, I can't say anything about you guys making fun of Kennedy
because you have no defense for it. That's why. Sorry to interrupt you.
Colgate and Penn State in a ranked matchup. That should be a good set of games. Too bad it's on Big Ten Network Plus.
Gross.
And at the same time as our games.
Well, yeah, but
our games are more important.
Clarkson is taking a trip to Erie to play Mercyhurst. I have a feeling that's not going to go well for the Lakers.
No,
probably not.
And then Syracuse will wrap up the other half of the weird home and home on Saturday at St. Lawrence.
So looking like another good showing of games for CHA this weekend, minus Mercyhurst because they're probably going to get obliterated.
That should be some good hockey though. I think
Yeah.
it's a good weekend to, it tests everybody. I think everybody gets a good test this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Penn State Colgate's probably the highlight outside of ours, obviously, but
agreed. So now going into the predictions, because now we've read the script properly. I will now have Dan start with his prediction for how he thinks the Tigers will do this weekend. And then we'll go to Nate, and then I'll go
quick update on the records.
Yes.
We were all right on Friday, and JJ was wrong on Saturday because he predicted a win.
I'm always going to give him one win every week, at least, guaranteed. I don't care if my win-loss at the end of the season takes a hit for that. I'm the eternal
Dan Scully and I have identical records now.
I think we predicted exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be doing a little curling after this weekend. Because I think we're going to pull off the sweep.
My line. I was going to say that.
What's your scores, Dan?
I may as well roll a pair of dice on that one. 3-2 and 4-2.
All right. That's fair.
All
right, Nate, you're up now.
Well, I was going to use the curling analogy. Thanks.
Totally unplanned, by the way.
I'm also going to go a little sweep action. I may or may not have bought a orange broom at Home Depot today to bring to GPC to wave around after we sweep teams. So it might make its debut Saturday afternoon.
You have scores for those games or no? Or are you just gonna go? You're just gonna pick.
I'll go 4-3 in overtime on Friday.
Ooh, okay.
And then we'll go. I like 4-2 on Saturday too.
Okay. I am also gonna go sweep this weekend for us. I'm gonna go a little bit different score wise though. I'm gonna go 5-1 on Friday in favor of us, and I'm gonna go 4-3 on Saturday.
JJ likes the offense.
I'm liking the offense at the home opener. I'm liking the energy that's going to be there. I think they're going to come out like a oiled machine and just bulldoze them out of the building night one. I think Saturday will be a little bit closer, but I think that the hype and the energy of being back at Polisseni on Friday night is going to give them a nice offensive boost.
I like it.
All right. Now we're going to the men's. Everyone but Dan was present, but Dan was with WITR during the game, so we had that. About how many was this, Nate? It was like 36, 37 of us drove out to Union.
40.
Yeah, you're right. It was an even 40. We all drove out to Schenectady or Sketchnectady for the Union.
Hey, we're not talking about Troy.
No, Dan, this place was awful.
Sketchnectady.
Troy is worse.
The Bill Gray's Iceplex at MCC looked nicer than that. No, it did. But so
the barn was kind of nice. I liked it.
The Tigers unfortunately dropped the game 4-3, right? Or 3-2? No, it's 4-3.
You were there.
I know. Well, the events that happened at said game kind of made me lose track of the score afterwards. We'll get into that in a bit. They did lose 4-3. It was Union's homecoming, so you kind of can't hate the fact that they did win on their homecoming. But at the same time, it would have been really nice for us to roll in there and beat them.
I can hate it a lot, actually.
Listen, I hate it also, but like it's homecoming. It takes the edge off a tiny bit. I know we all had an absolute blast there. It was a great game. I think the notable highlight from that game, in my opinion at least, is Evan Miller was an Atlantic Hockey Player of the Week with 2 points. He had a goal and an assist. He had a goal with 23 seconds left in the first period, at the end of the first period, and then
or his first goal as a Tiger, by
for
the
his
way.
first goal as an RIT Tiger. So congratulations to Evan Miller for that one. It most certainly was Miller time this weekend. And he had an absolutely incredible assist later on. Oh no, that might have been the first two.
I mean, the first goal was just tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, they were both in the first.
Well,
Yeah.
can I also say that the union scorekeepers and the union public address guy said all three of our goals were unassisted, which was not the case because I'm pretty sure Carter had.
Dan Scully, you would have had an aneurysm.
Your head would have exploded because I'm pretty sure Carter Wilkie had an assist on Evan Miller's goal, and then
he had it on
Miller was involved in the first and with Tanner's goal, and I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm looking around, going like, who's like we know who scored, but what?
So I think they were rushing to announce the goal.
Yes,
because from what I've heard is that the referees just say look up the assist since they have the video right there.
Mm-hmm.
The referees just say who scored it.
Yeah.
So that's why it takes Rocky so long at home. It's because they're checking the assists before he announces it.
Yeah, but at least we know who got the assists then. Like
Matt
Kallenberger
too.
Yeah.
First point.
It depends too. Sometimes the officials, Chris Foot's known to do this, is to skate over and he will give at least one assist. And Matt Campbell, who sometimes does video replay down in the box, has said that he totally ignores what the officials say about goals or assists because he has a video monitor to look it up on.
That's funny. So let's talk about highlights. I want to talk about the second period first. Power play kill defense was an unstoppable friggin' wall in that second period. There was 6 penalty kills the Tigers cleared. 2 of them were 5-on-3. I don't care what anyone says. This team is going to be insane when it comes to the power play kill, when it comes to penalty kill. That was outstanding. This game could have gotten out of control quick. And I know Nate on our script, his second bullet point is rant. So we're going to get to what his rant is in just a second. But
we might have to add a third one to that list now
rant
that I'm
even
looking
more
at the box score.
Oh, Dan Scully's going to go on a rant.
So we have, so just so everyone at home knows, the script for the men's portion of this episode is recap game, rant again, and then preview Army. So we're just going to go down and get mad at crap that happened this weekend, but we're going to start with some good. Penalty kill was outstanding. This game could have gotten out of hand quickly, and they cleared. Union didn't score once on any of the power plays they had in the second.
Credit to Tommy Scarfoni as well.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
He was Tommy Scarfoni. That was one of my biggest fears going into the game was sophomore slumps are a thing. And let me tell you, there were a bunch of sophomores in the lineup the other night, and they all looked phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
The Wilkie, Andrew, Miller line was absolutely unreal. Like
I'm also Grady
Hobbs was out for the game, and like I don't know where you put him when he comes back this weekend. I mean, Wayne will figure it out, but like, where do you put him?
I'm also going to say shout out to Sarah Roach. She would be very happy to know that the Ryan Nicholson and Spencer Berry defenseman pairing at the back worked beautifully until
for
Nicholson.
A period and a half until Nicholson got his foot cut open.
Yeah, that wasn't that fun for him. Hopefully he's feeling better. I know he'll most likely be back for the weekend, but literally, like we talked about in the preview, how good a pairing those two are defensively, and they were outstanding during that game. There was literally no possible, like that whole first period, nothing.
13 block shots for us.
Union, I don't think Union didn't score until after Nicholson left the game. Like that's how good they were. Like, and I don't want to put all the like pressure on him, but those two defensively paired up was insane. Like they could not score on us, period, until Nicholson was out. And a few people also pointed out that Carter Wilkie seemed to be getting like double teamed a lot. Like there was a couple of times where like they just swarmed him the minute he had the puck in his possession.
Well, and that opened up Andrew and Miller.
Exactly. So it's
Sorry,
almost like
Miller and Andrew. I can't say Andrew and Miller because we had a guy,
and Andrew Miller.
Yeah. God, that's going to be horrible all year.
But at the same time, like it makes perfect. Like Wilkie was Atlantic Hockey Rookie of the Year. Like you're gonna want to make sure he doesn't get the puck. But fortunately for us, that left open Tanner Andrew and Evan Miller to just go nuts and basically
they both scored.
And they both scored. They both scored in the first period.
The Evan Miller goal was an absolute beautiful play. Kellenberger took it out of the zone, and just left a beautiful drop pass for Evan, and he just ripped it off a Union guy and into the net. And we all went nuts. I started losing it because I love it. I love seeing guys get their first. And Evan Miller had a rough year last year. He got hurt very early in the year, and we never got to see, like, he was out for the rest of the year basically. And getting to see him come back and contribute right away, healthy, ready to go, playing on a line with arguably the best forward on the team and making it count was good to see. It was fun to see.
Let's also point out that the third goal we had was scored by Cody Laskowski, just so he gets some credit thrown in there because
that was a rip.
Oh, that shot was filthy.
I had a perfect line on it too from my spot. Oh,
dude, I saw him get that thing, and I just thought about his Mercyhurst goal from last year. He kind of like backhanded it in there, and I'm like, oh, he's about to score. And like 2 seconds later, it was in. I just knew it. I knew it was from the minute he had it. I think the only other big positive moment was, we had a incredible moment where we were on I think it was in the second, we were on a penalty kill, and
shocker,
Kobe Walker's stick flew out of his hand, and the puck kind of on a block just floated towards him, and he proceeded to just kick it out of the zone. Like he's like, what am I supposed to do? And he's just trying to kick the thing out. And we all he kicked it down the rink, and we all went ballistic, started chanting his name. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Also, speaking of Kobe Walker, I want to give him props because we walked into that building and he was standing at the front entrance and he fist bumped every last corner crew person that walked into that building. I was ready to run through the steel beam that was in front of me.
He really wants the Dan and Lori Barrows Fan Choice Award this year.
Dude.
He might have won my vote before game one even started. He stood
there and fist bumped everybody walking in. Name another player who would do that besides Dan Willett, because we know he would.
I'm sure if any of the guys were standing there, they would have, but he just happened to be standing there. But he saw us all coming, and
I think also there's the fact of like everybody sees like he's the team captain. Everyone like it means I don't want to say it means more coming from him, but like you get what I mean there.
It's nice to know that he cares.
Yes.
You know, he's not just there to play hockey. He's there to be the face of the team. And
so the next portion of our bit, now that we've talked about the game itself, we're gonna go a little bit more in depth. Rant number 1 belongs to Mr. Nathan. I will let him go first with Little Goon. He can go start with his rant, and we can all kind of chime in as we go.
I thought Atlantic hockey officiating was bad. Oh my God. These guys made me miss Michael Schubert.
You're lying.
A difficult feat.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God,
that was absolutely horrible.
Can we say
what was that game?
Can we say I forget who it was that mentioned it, but someone was either watching the TV broadcast or listening to the radio broadcast, and I think it was the TV broadcast, and they said that the Union broadcasters said out loud, the officials are trying to give Union a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Clear as day on TV, they're trying to give Union a goal. You got to be kidding me.
I have every penalty written down. So here
read them all off. Read them all off.
Okay, slashing on Isabel, horrible,
garbage.
That was
it was the softest slash I've ever seen in my life. roughing on Aiden Hansen-Bukata after
Nope.
he got. I didn't know it was a penalty.
He
to
was
get jumped.
shoved. He was shoved by someone else.
So, like, okay, he gets jumped. Yes, they did call the penalty on the Union guy, but Hansen-Bukata pushed him back off of him.
Yes.
That's not roughing.
No, that's defending yourself.
Oh my God. Wilkie got a roughing defending Scarfoni. Where was the call on
the guy that hit
other
Scarfoni?
Guy? Trying not to swear. I'm trying really hard. The holding on Aiden Hansen-Bukata late in that period, garbage.
I would have been fine if they had let that go.
If they let that go or take both. I don't care.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. They were both holding each other. So either take both or take none. Let it go. Let them play. It's a hockey. It happens. It's hockey.
And then there was the call on Wilkie for touching the puck while it was on the ice. And I'm like, what is this?
No, JJ, that's a penalty.
The face-off violation.
That's 100% a penalty.
A bunch of us are looking at that going like, we couldn't even see what had happened. So we're like, what are you calling this on? And we're like, what? He did what?
Yeah. So
I didn't see that one. I was more fired up.
That's actually a penalty.
But that's your like legitimate one for the most part.
Xavier Lapointe's hooking penalty was cookie cutter. Barely. Was it a hook? Yes. Could you have let it go? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then the holding the puck on Mahan. Are you kidding me?
That second period, I think, dictated the
That's
third.
a hockey play.
Yeah.
Grabbing the puck out of the air and putting it down is a hockey play. Why are you calling that?
It's one thing when you skate with it. It's another thing to catch it,
grab it and knock it down, which he
ice.
did. I watched it 5 times to make sure. He took one stride because he was already in motion. What do you want him to stop dead in his tracks, drop it, and then by the time he gets going again, he's getting blown up?
The referees just don't know what inertia is.
No. And I'm
I
also
don't know
say,
if they know hockey. Who were these guys? They just pull these guys off the street? Like,
I'm also going to say, I think the sheer number of penalties in that second period made our guys play a lot. I don't want to say a lot more careful, but I think they were a lot less willing to try and, be physical and be aggressive because we're going to just start getting called for penalties now and we're going to end up on power play kills. And we don't need to be doing that.
And then the Andrew holding penalty in the third period was
I mean, at least there was 2 4-on-4s, but then as soon as they start, they're becoming 5-on-3s. Or they're becoming 4-on-3s and then becoming a 5-on-3 later on. And we're all just sitting there going, like, how did they not end up in the box without it being a 4-on-4 at all the whole night? Like, that was actually insanity. They never had a penalty called on them, and they never had an icing call either. That's insane. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, the icing is that.
Icing is one thing, yes, but like the penalty thing was like
the penalty thing was such garbage.
Yeah, there was some clear favoritism there. I don't
the amount of things like I don't know if they were trying to set a tone for the year or like it's a non-conference game. Why are you trying to set the tone for the year? These two, like, you're not gonna ref another RAT game. Who cares? Like.
Yeah,
I'm speechless at how Atlantic hockey officials are. How do I say this without getting in trouble?
Just say they suck and move on.
They suck, but this was on another.
This was
level.
Egregious. This was egregiously bad.
At least Atlantic hockey refs are bad both ways.
Yes,
this was like,
clear on
the amount of times that I sit up there and I'm like, oh, that's a horrible call. Like when we go to the power play, it's like that was a rough call. But like this was just, like how many times do you think I stood up and said, "You've got to be kidding me! Give me a break."
If I had a count with a dollar bill attached to it, I would be living elsewhere. I would have a very nice house somewhere in the Hamptons. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. So now we're going to the rant again portion. We're going to turn to Dan and let him go.
Mine's gonna be a little shorter than Nate's. First of all, why matching roughing minors twice in a 5-minute span? This isn't an RIT Niagara game. Then I could understand it, and they never bother. For another, why does the box score say that Union only had 4 power plays? You're screwing our penalty kill. And to be fair to
facts.
To be fair to Union, that might not be Union's fault. It might be the stats software, but
definitely that.
What the hell?
Dan's right, because I'm pretty sure the official score
because now
says
like
4,
now say we take one. Now say Army scores a power play goal on their first power play chance on Friday. Now our penalty kill is only at 80% instead of whatever 1 for 7 is. I'm not doing the math in the top of my head right now.
Somewhere in the high 80s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you're screwing our power play stats.
Well,
or PK stats. Like, come on.
I saw another. I think I saw a WITR's. No, the Sport Zone's write up on the game correctly had it listed as 6 penalty kills.
Oh, I'm sure that Tim had it right when he wrote the.
Yeah, because Tim's not an idiot. Those other guys at Union were. No offense to them, but like
the Union SID didn't even know the game in 2 weeks was at Blue Cross.
That's kind of hilarious. And also
I
sad.
forgot about that part. Guy shows up to GPC, can't figure out why the door's locked.
Oh God!
What time did the game actually start? Where am I supposed to be?
It's down the street
Dan,
at Blue Cross, you moron. It's not a GPC.
So instead of giving the Union SID a spot in the press box, they should give it to you. Just saying.
Agreed. Just let Dan Scully call the games now at Union as long as we're playing. So once every 30 years.
God, it is just so frustrating because we totally could have won that game. We should have won that game. You saw it in the first and you saw it in the third. For when we weren't killing, we were a much better hockey team than they were. And
yes,
it would have been hilarious if we won that game just for the fact that Union had so many opportunities.
I mean, like I said before, this game could have gotten out of hand fast in the second. They had 6 power play opportunities. They didn't score on any of them. Any of them. Like, and that's huge.
Let me say this too. We're not giving Union enough credit. They won the hockey game.
They played a very good game.
They played a great game. Their power play, they could have easily scored more than 4 goals. Yep. They had 6 power play chances.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought it was a game where I don't think either team deserved to lose. I just thought personally, not even from a biased standpoint, we were the better team.
Can I also say, as soon when that first period ended, I turned around and I looked at Randy, the guy. People know Randy's the guy that handles the American flag, and Zelig. And Zelig looked at the both of us and said, "These guys look good." And we were, yeah, like we look really good right now. Like, oh my God, like they dominated the first half of that game. Like we were wiping them clear across their own ice the entire time. The whole first period was just dominated by us.
Nobody put it in the highlights, which is a shame because it's an actual highlight. If you go back on ESPN Plus, watch the first 30 seconds of the game. Tommy Scarfoni makes an unbelievable.
Oh, that was nuts. That save was sick. We went ballistic when that happened.
That was the point where I said, "Oh, he's good."
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember that one too. He had no business making
that. That should have been that should have been one of them off the bat.
If that puck went in, we would have been in trouble.
I honestly,
not the team. It would have been us.
when that first period ended, I seriously was like, "We're gonna win this." I thought the whole time, like, it's over. And I think that second period just really affected how we played the third. Because they had to play so much more careful to make sure we didn't get any stupid penalties called on us the rest of the game, at least in my opinion.
That and they were just gassed from killing so many penalties.
And there's that too.
I can't wait to blow the doors off of them in 2 weeks.
Also, I want to real quick give some other quick shout outs to the Union Band. They had some fun. We had some fun with those guys.
Phenomenal.
They came up and shook our hands.
They were so
They
good.
came up and shook Nate's hand afterwards, their cowboy player. They were fun guys. We had a lot of good fun back and forth with them. A lot of parents when we were walking out. So we had a lot of great spirit and loved the energy we brought. They had a lot of fun. Nothing but respect to pretty much everyone in that building, union wise, because there was a lot of really nice people we got to interact with and talk to. There were, of course, some bad apples. Some people who did try and.
But I'm not gonna let those few individuals represent the fan base as a whole. They got some good hockey fans there, and I'll be honest, they were loud.
They were. They had some good turnouts.
Their
chants were all the same.
They had
but
one chant, but they just had a "Let's Go Union" chant. And you guys can borrow some of ours. How about that?
And it's kind of
officially licensed by Nate Foss.
Oh yeah, and it
was trademark on all of them.
Licensing fee, royalties for every time someone does it.
Then maybe we could pay for a bus
or a plane to fly to Colorado. I'll fly the plane, man. I'll do it. I'll get a pilot.
I'm not getting on that plane.
Yes, you would.
No, I'd rather drive.
I will say though, it was unfortunate that we did have to have the security guy come over and start monitoring people in front of us that they were just getting that hostile. Like those people obviously do not represent Union as a whole. Like whatever. Can I also say that security guy was pretty great because he walks over and goes, "Dude, love the clone trooper." And I'm like, all right, we're good. He walked up, talked to Carson, was like loving him the whole time. And then he also, for people that saw the picture on Instagram, is the one who took the picture of all of us there with our Blue Line Crew sign. So
our favorite thing is to have security guards from other ranks take pictures of us
and like say how much fun they had watching us all like cheer and whatnot. It's so much fun. Away games are great, but
I do also want to mention that. Let me pull it up here. I got a DM on the Corner Crew Instagram from the team.
Yes, really?
After the game.
Yep, we got one. I saw it too.
They said, "Thank you for making the trip and supporting us, best fans in college hockey," which we knew that, but
best team in college hockey. Right. I said, there.
"Can't wait to be back home." And they said, "Trust us, we've been counting down the days to see you all back in the corner."
So have we. The countdown's still going. The post is going up as soon as we're done recording this because I just got it from Max.
I can't wait for Friday.
Oh, it's good. The wait is
Friday
me alive.
It's only like we're recording this on Monday, and the fact that it's only Monday is an issue.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And there's no athletic events this week. What are you doing?
I was just gonna say this
Dan has time off.
Strange week for me. Like I have more time than I have since September 1st.
He doesn't know what to do with himself. He has nothing to do. There's no games for him to be calling.
Love it.
Love it. Speaking of Friday, we have our first homestand of the year for the men. We have a 2-game set against Army Friday and Saturday. Both games, I'm pretty sure, are at 7. I know Friday's at 7.
7 and 5.
7 and 5. Sorry, 7 and 5.
Okay, hang on. I have a third rant. Enough with the 5 o'clock Saturday games.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. They're the dumbest thing in
Saturday game.
Dan, shut up. So the reason for the 5 o'clock home game is so that the other team isn't getting back as late on a Saturday, right? Makes sense. It's a great idea. But when the other teams don't do it for us, why are we doing it?
Yeah, stop showing them courtesy. They're not going to play both ways.
Screw you. You're getting back at 3 a.m. I don't care if you had basic training Sunday morning. I don't care.
Oh my God. The rant. It's so good. But we're taking on an Army team that did give us a run for our money last year. The listeners
better hope we don't get blown out at all this year because that's when the real rants are going to come.
Yeah, it would be bad. I don't think that's going to happen at all. Seeing how we can I also say the one person we talked to, one of the Union parents came up to us and said, "I would not be surprised if we saw you guys in the tournament." Like
we'll talk about the tournament in March.
Yep, we'll talk about the tournament when we get there. But back to Army. They obviously gave us a run for our money last year. They swept us, didn't they?
They swept us at home, and I believe we went to West Point very early.
Yeah, we did. Did we split with them on that, or we swept them there?
I think we took 4 out of 6.
Okay, so we pretty much, we did pretty good.
Because I remember losing the
tie
shootout
with a shootout loss. Yeah.
Andrew Rinaldi scored half of his goals that weekend last year.
I'm literally wearing his jersey right now.
And then we went back to West Point to play Sacred Heart for that weird makeup
And their team was sitting there
on a Tuesday afternoon.
On a Tuesday. Oh, don't even get me started with that.
Those games are fun though. Come on.
And then
you get to move
Rinaldi,
the other side.
Then Rinaldi scored again. So it was like, thank God he's Canadian and couldn't transfer to Army because he would just score a goal every game because that would have been all he does is score at Tate Rink.
Oh God. And I remember watching the stream for that Sacred Heart game that we played them at West Point. And just so weird. And the only people that were there watching that game was the Army hockey team and Coach Riley.
Yeah, they didn't allow fans. I think they said it was some sort of security thing.
No, because Sacred Heart had an absolute hissy fit because they had to play, instead of playing at their rink, they had to play us at ours, and our fans went crazy and they didn't like that, so they decided to cry about it and got the other game moved to West Point. That's pretty much what it was.
They had a brutal
was made before the game.
Yeah, but no. But the fact that they didn't allow fans in was to prevent us from driving to West Point and causing problems there. Which you gotta bet we might have done that.
Sacred Heart had a brutal schedule last year. They had no home games.
Because they had to play a new rink.
They had to play Air Force 4 times out in Colorado.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So because
jet lag there.
Let me say this.
That's right.
It's another mini rant. Atlantic Hockey was punishing teams for not going out to Air Force during the COVID year. So they made Sacred Heart go back out there last year to make up for that and the games they actually had to play out there last year.
That was evil.
So they played Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a fat no.
That is awful.
I mean, at least they didn't make them fly out there twice.
Yeah, true. That would have been worse because that's not cheap.
No, not even
God,
close.
No. So let's look at around Atlantic then before we go to our predictions for the week.
I got stuff on Army.
Well, we'll talk about the predictions.
No, I have other stuff on
Army. All right, go ahead. It's on you. Go right to it then. I mean, you just went on a rant about Sacred Heart for 10 minutes. So I know what you're talking about.
That's fine. I don't like them. 23, 6, and 7 all time against Army. There was a stretch for a few years where RAT wouldn't. So nobody could sweep. RAT and Army had no sweeps against each other for 5 years. Mm-hmm. It would always be somebody would win Friday, usually RAT, and then we would tie on Saturday.
Yep.
There would be no sweeps. I think the first time we swept Army was 2015.
Lord.
And actually there was one year where it was a team thing. It wasn't necessarily Army. RAT would win Friday and then tie Saturday, so the coaches stopped wearing ties on Saturday.
My
That's
God.
incredible.
And they still tied. They would wear bow ties instead of straight ties. Didn't work. Army played on Sunday yesterday, and they tied Union. They lost in a shootout, but it goes in the books as a tie. Atlantic Hockey refs saw the crap from Saturday night and gave Union 5 penalties. So We're going to make up. We're going to defend our guys. Union did have 1 power play. Noah Wilson from Army got a 5 in a game for boarding. From what I saw, it was a pretty brutal hit. I don't think he'll get suspended, but it is something to keep an eye out for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Because then he obviously wouldn't play Friday night. Army went 0 for 5 on the power play.
Rip.
Actually 0 for 5?
Or was it an 0 for 8 because they forgot to call a bunch of crap over it?
I looked at the box score. It was 0 for 5.
Over it.
I looked at the penalty sheet, not the box score. So I was very dyslexic and still heated yesterday when I saw that. I thought Union had 5 power plays. I was gonna lose my ever living mind on this podcast, but
I remember that.
Nate would have flipped out and probably.
I went off in the Discord for about 30 seconds. Gavin Abrick, the Army's starting goaltender, he was phenomenal last year. He was pretty good yesterday. 21 saves. Army's a very, very good and usually disciplined, physical, fast, and they play hard. They're a very hard hockey team to play against. And that's credit to Coach Riley. He has his boys ready to go every
Yes, he does.
single night.
Nothing
They're
but
always a
respect for him.
threat. It'll be a good series, I think.
Yeah, well, for sure.
It should be a fun couple of games at the Polisseni Center. So if you don't have your tickets, what are you doing?
Yeah, if you don't have your tickets
I
yet,
don't have mine.
I don't want to say you're an idiot, but
You don't need
we've been
tickets.
telling you for weeks,
Shut
just go
up.
get them. Just sneak in. No, don't do that.
Just get your season tickets.
Because then you get all of them. You get all
Get
19
your season
games.
tickets. I did the math. If you buy a student ticket for every game, it's $90.
Yep.
Season tickets are $50. Do
So
you want to
basically,
spend
you're
90?
getting
Do you want
9.
to spend 50?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm no genius, but I can do basic money math. $40 is a lot.
And especially
Nate
for college
Foss, the
students.
accountant, ladies and gentlemen.
That's gonna be pretty good right there. So let's go around Atlantic then, finally. We'll do that, and then we'll go to our predictions for this weekend.
All right, I'm gonna read off the games that actually counted first, and then we'll go back to exhibitions.
Mhm.
AIC tied Alaska Fairbanks in Fairbanks on Saturday night. BU pretty much slaughtered crosstown rivals Bentley 8-2.
Rival.
I'm pretty sure BU also made ECH's top 5 goals of the weekend.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure I saw, and I think that one goal made Sports Center too. It might have, because I remember seeing Bentley somewhere in Sports Center yesterday. That was kind of funny.
Well, it's Bentley.
Sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, we lost to Union.
Mm-hmm.
The Ohio State University.
Oh, get out of here with that.
I'm making fun of it. I think it's stupid too.
I kind of
Beat
love it. I'm not gonna
Mercyhurst
lie.
4-2. Then on Sunday, AIC lost 2-1 at Fairbanks.
Good.
We already talked about how Union and Army tied. Union did win the shootout. That's a new thing this year. The out of conference games are using
shootouts.
Home conferences policy on shootouts, and I think all the conferences on the men's side are using shootouts.
I think ECAC and Hockey East are the only two that are withholding.
Interesting.
Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about then.
At least I didn't see anything that they were adding them. I know they didn't use them last year. So
Ohio State finished the sweep over Mercyhurst 4-1.
Good.
In exhibition games, exhibition Battle of the Bridge, which seems unreasonable. Niagara won 2-0.
That was a shock. All right.
Who they play?
Canisius.
What? How did I miss that?
That was wow. So I don't know, like it's an exhibition game, so it doesn't matter. But you think C Block went?
They were at the swim meet.
Went at a swim meet. They were pulling a Dan Scully.
Nah, guys, it was Fall Fest.
Whatever.
It was Fall Fest at Canisius.
It was Fall Fest. They had a Battle of the Bridge, and they didn't fill the rink.
So all right, so let
pathetic.
so what I was saying, like, I don't know if that's a knock on Canisius, only because it is an early game. They have a lot of new guys coming in, or if it says a lot about Niagara. Maybe we're kind of underestimating them a little bit. How did our son Chad do in that game?
Yeah, how'd he do? Chad, the walking meme, Veltri. This man better be ready for what we're gonna unleash on him when we go down there.
Our friend Chad We can get down to goaltending. Chad made 5 saves in the first period. Congratulations, Chad. We're so proud of you.
Oh my God, this poor guy. Actually, I'm not gonna say this poor guy. This guy deserves every bit of what he's getting, and he's gonna end up crying when we go down there.
I love Chad.
If he doesn't play that game, I'm gonna have an absolute
So
fit. I hope you know that. We're gonna just demand they put him in. We're gonna just start chanting, "We want Chad." Sorry. Let's go to predictions then for the weekend. How are we thinking? We'll start with Dan.
Colorado College beat Air Force 5-1 in an exhibition.
Oh, they saw Air Force. I'm sorry.
Sacred Heart beat UMass in an exhibition game. Dan, you can continue because we haven't even gotten to this weekend's games yet.
Yes, I'm sorry. I keep jumping ahead. I'm just pumped for the weekend.
Holy Cross beat Boston College 3-2.
Which another shocker.
Yeah, that was kind of
Yeah.
surprising.
I thought BC was going to blow the doors off of them.
And Sacred Heart's Sunday exhibition was against Western, who I think is a Canadian university, right?
Yep.
Beat them 6-4. And then this coming weekend, we've got Mercyhurst at RPI, Sacred Heart at Providence, Canisius at Penn State.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Maine at Air Force in the Icebreaker. Holy Cross at North Dakota.
That'll be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Those poor guys. Why are they even going?
And Niagara heads to Omaha. And then in the other part of the Icebreaker, they're showing Notre Dame playing Air Force, but isn't that
not
like a mini tournament?
Mm-mm. It's a set
No?
schedule now.
That I don't like that.
I don't like. You know what?
Stupid.
And they didn't do that when we were there a few years ago in Toledo for the Icebreaker, and it was so much better.
I wonder if that's why they changed it, because whoever was hosting, I think it was Bowling Green, they had themselves scheduled to play the late game on the second day,
which makes sense
because they lost.
Yeah,
they ended up having to play the early game.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Also, one last small rant. I'm sorry, then I'm done. The Icebreaker in 2019. Every Icebreaker before did not have a trophy. So after we lost to Ohio State, I'm like, oh, there's no trophy. And then sure enough, they march out with this giant trophy. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I wanted a trophy. Trophies are fun.
Trophies are fun. Kind of love them.
We're getting them this year.
I say we're gonna add a couple this year. So predictions for the weekend. Oh, sorry.
And UMass heads to AIC on Saturday.
That'll be interesting.
Might catch the tail end of that after our game. No, we cheer for Atlantic hockey in non-conference games, unless it's Niagara.
Or Canisius, or Air Force, or Sacred Heart.
Or AIC.
Or AIC. Or Bentley.
Whatever, guys.
I'm going to just name all the teams because I want to see them all lose. All right. Now we're going to get to predictions, thank God. Dan, you are up first with your predictions for the weekend.
Oh, boy. I think we're going to do the same thing we did early last season. I think we're going to win one and tie another. I won't make a prediction on the shootout because it's a shootout. It can go either way. I'm just hoping that the last time we played them at home, we had a pretty poor sequence where Nick Bruce took 17 penalty minutes on one play.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yep.
And I don't want to ever have to see 7 minutes of power play for the other team on the board at Polisseni ever again.
That was not good. That was brutal. That was a weird penalty.
It was a weird weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
It was a very strange weekend.
Nate, you were up next with your predictions.
I'm gonna go split. I think,
Wow.
and listen, here's my thought process. Until I see them do it, and this is a challenge to all of them. Please win in front of a packed house,
Yep.
not in a 1-goal game. They haven't done it yet.
Blow the roof
and
off
it
of them.
drives me insane. Come in, set the tone on Friday. Because guess what? If you score a lot of goals, people have fun. And when people have fun, people
They come back. Yep. Totally agree.
So I'm going to go split. I think they still win Friday night because they're pumped to be home in front of a packed Polisseni Center. I think it'll be close. But I think Army's goaltending is good enough to get a split on the road. Prove me wrong.
I'm going to say sweep. I'm going to say we win both. I'm going to say the first game is 4-1. I'm going to say the second game is 3-2 in a closer matchup. I think offensively, we are going to, I don't want to say dominate the absolute you-know-what out of them, but I think after what we did to Union for the first half of that game, I think if we can do that the whole game against them on Friday, we're going to win easily. And I think there is no shot they can stop us Saturday if that happens again. I also think having a packed house on Friday is going to just fuel the life out of them and is going to really give them some juice to get going.
Can't stop smiling thinking about Friday.
It's going to be great, man.
It's going to be so much fun.
Double headers are the best.
Dude,
this is a quadruple weekend.
Hockey weekend.
Quadruple home opener weekend. Gotta love it.
Why do they not schedule it this way every year?
Should be. So
I don't know, because Steve and Tim want to actually be able to have some time at home on the weekend
with their families.
Quick announcement to if you can't for any reason, any non-excusable reason, there are no excuses to not be there. Can't be there. All the games are on Flow Hockey.
Yep.
And both women's games this weekend will be on Witter.
Yes,
Ed and Matt are calling the games this weekend. So
speaking to that, another fun announcement. Ed is now in our Discord server, and WITR, I believe, or sorry, Witter, as I don't know why I always say WITR, I don't know why. Witter has, I believe they're going to start fielding questions from the Discord.
They did do that Saturday.
Yes. So there is a new channel, Ask Ed. You can go in there and you can leave them questions for them to answer on the post-game show over on Twitter.
Don't flood that chat with conversation either.
Yeah, no.
Just leave it strictly to questions.
The server admins will be monitoring that to make sure that it's not just a bunch of just spam, because it makes it easier for Ed and his team to be able to go in there and field actual questions. But he joined one night, wanted to start fielding questions.
He joined Friday night.
Nate
at like 10 o'clock.
I texted Nate.
And the whole Discord went ballistic.
I texted Nate and I went, "What did you have to do with this?" And you responded all caps, "I didn't do anything." And then I went, "Oh my God, he just joined this on his own volition. This is even better."
So I was talking to him before the game Saturday, and he said that Witter has a Discord and it's pretty active, and he didn't really know anything about it. And then he learned that Corner Crew had one, so he jumped in, and now it just goes to show you, like, you don't have to be in Corner Crew to join the Discord. Anybody can join. We have a great time. Last night between the hours of 11:30 and 12:30.
Oh, this is so good.
That was so fun.
Oh my God.
If you weren't in it, I'm sorry. You missed out. It was
just get in it. So when something like that happens
so
again.
tired. I had to go to bed, but I could not.
It was
not get out of that
funny.
Conversation. It was so.
It was so good. That being said, we're gonna wrap it up for this week. This is a very long episode. We had a lot to talk about, which is good. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified when new episodes go up. Leave a comment what your predictions are for this weekend. I know all of us here would love to see it. It'd be kind of fun to see what people think. If you have not yet already, also make sure you check us out on Spotify. We are still over there, I'm pretty sure.
say that every time.
I don't know. Like, I don't get the notifications for Spotify for some reason, even though I have them selected to be turned on. And yes, I am the weird guy that watches and listens to the show whenever it comes out. Even though I'm
listens to his own show.
I just like it. It's fun.
Don't we all do that?
I think
I do it.
I do it. We all do it.
I do.
If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The Discord link will be in the description of this video. It's also in the Instagram descriptions. You can find it in there. Again, jump in there, leave questions to ask Witter and ask Ed after the games for the post game. You might get lucky and have your question get answered. That'd be kind of fun. That'll do it for this week, unless anybody else has anything to say.
Get your tickets Friday.
Pack policy.
Be there. Wear orange.
The Gene on Friday and Saturday. Not just one,
quick
both.
Insider info. RAT may possibly be wearing orange all weekend.
Love it. Love it. Those orange jerseys are baller.
My
dude.
sources say the white jerseys aren't there yet.
That's a yikes.
So
the orange and black
home.
ones are so good.
Orange at home, baby. Let's go.
Love it.
Can't wait. Also, hey, get your tickets for Brick City too.
Yeah, they're up.
There
Those
aren't
are
a lot
not
of corner crew tickets left.
in season
They're not
tickets.
included.
Yes.
I know 121 is full, but 119 still is openings. But both those sections are general admission anyway.
They're very limited, so get there. And if you want to sit in corner crew, get there early.
Yeah. Well, if you bought tickets for those sections,
if you have a corner crew ticket and you want to sit in a specific seat, get there early.
Yep. Because those sections
do not roll in at 7:00 thinking you're going to be able to sit in corner crew with your 10 friends that you bought tickets.
That's not going to happen.
It will not happen. Please do not get there at 7:00. Be there. Be in your seat at 6:30.
Agreed. So that's going to do it for this week. We will see everybody next week after another weekend of fun hockey. Have a great night, everybody. Go Tigers.
Roll Tech.